Hey you, I'm the Queen of Shade. Welcome to the interview. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit my Cash App to support your favorite content creator. Now let's get to the interview. Mwah. The Queen of Shade. Let me tell you something. You're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. Said you're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. You're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. Said you're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. Salutations to foes. This is your fabulous little the Queen of Shade coming to you with another special presentation. Moving forward, full speed ahead, getting to know some amazing people, people of interest, great talents, great voices, great just everythings in the world. These people do so much for their communities, so much for us as the online community, and I love highlighting them. And having said that, I have someone very special that you need to meet. So I'm going to start with a little bit of reading because Mother has done her homework. So here we go. Prince Derek Dow is an American recording artist and performing artist. He's also a media personality, an entrepreneur, and an advocate. Now let me jump down. Okay. With a head-turning debut on the 2019 MTV VMA red carpet, the multifaceted entertainer Prince Derek Dow snatched spots on the best dressed and the non-conforming list, notching higher than your faves. The multifaceted indie entertainer has amassed 20,000 plus social media followers and 75,000 plus streams combined. He's an artist, a performer, and a personality. Prince Derek Dow is poised to turn heads in 2022. It is going to be the year of the doll. With his forthcoming album, Trophy Season. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to formally introduce you to Prince Derek Dow.
Hi.
Hi, how are you, babe?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Listen, thank you so much for having me. Before we even get started, I want to shout out your manager. Kim is amazing. Her correspondence, her getting me the photos for the promo, that's the one to keep.
Yes, I've been saying for a while now to people, like, get you a Kim Ford. I actually interned under her a few years ago, and I loved watching her work. She's inspired me in some of the work that I do, and things just aligned where she understood what I was trying to do, and she saw that us working together would expand the vision. And I'm very grateful for her. Child, I don't know what I would be doing. I would probably still be stuck in 2019 if it wasn't for Kim Ford. So yes, get you a Kim Ford, y'all.
Yes. You want to know something? I came across you. I've seen you in passing on social media, but I recently came across you and you were in Texas. And I think it was Texas. I believe it was Texas. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But what happens is, I guess you had just finished performing and Megan Thee Stallion was walking to the stage.
Oh, okay.
And she hugged and embraced you and kissed you. And you went in a very fabulous costume, mind you. She went to the stage and you walked on. And I love the professionalism that I saw. Not everybody can be a Prince Derek doll, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, not everybody can do that. I could tell that poise that I saw, because I'm very quick at assessment. So that poise, that balance, that professionalism was bred over years and years and years and years and years of practice. And it's...
I think that, so the video you're talking about was actually at the 2019 VMAs. And it was literally after me coming from the press wall, which was a mind-blowing experience, and getting to my spot so that I could do interviews on the red carpet, so I could conduct interviews. And I'm a fan of Meg Thee Stallion, and I'm Southern, you know what I'm saying? So anytime we see somebody from Texas or Louisiana, Mississippi, or whatever, being able to be in the space um, where they get a chance to share our culture and our talent.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted her to know where I was proud of her and to welcome her into our city. That was in the city of Newark. It was the first time the VMAs had been there. And this is where my art lives. So it was literally just a, hey, welcome to Newark, and I'm proud of you. Go kill it. You have your thing to do. I have my thing to do. I was literally walking. We both were walking into our moments,
Yeah.
right? And there was a recognition there, and it was what it was. But yeah, there's a level of professionalism that comes with it. Only because I can celebrate celebrities, right? But I also see them as like colleagues. Like we're here to do a job. We're here to get the people going, and I see you, you see me, and we can keep it cordial in that way. And I think that, a lot of us, especially underground artists, as we get more experience in being in mainstream places, you kind of get a little more settled where you're not intimidated in those spaces. So,
You know what I love? You know what I love about you? I hear it already. This is something I don't see in a lot of people that I wish I did. I'm just going to give you your flowers right now.
oh,
The level of attention paid to detail. You wanted to do what you do, and you made sure that you were going to do it, and that in those spaces, you were going to be you. And that's what I love. And I saw, I was actually speaking to my spiritual advisor. He's from New York, and he's getting ready to be installed as a pastor, but I love him and he loves me. And he was one of my men years ago. And I can say that because he's out and open. It's just the way that it is. But he said, I've seen this angel somewhere. I've seen this angel somewhere. And I'm like, hello, Newark, New York. He's probably in New York performing all the time. And he's like, oh yeah, that would make sense. I'm like, yeah, Newark. Like he literally, we Googled you. And like I had the information, but it was cute to watch him do it. So he did it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like look at this." And then it just, what I love about Google, it brought you up immediately, American recording artist. Like boom, it was like right there. And then it showed your YouTube, it showed where you could get your music, where you could listen. And I love seeing that. Like I love when, spaces acknowledge talent and hard work, because I believe this. I'm a firm believer in this. You could have no talent at all in this business.
oh, we've seen that.
Yeah. We ain't gonna call no names.
We're going to names.
I'm the queen of shade, but I'm not here. I'm not here to shade.
Listen,
But
whatever God has for them, He has for them. And I
right.
know that whatever He has for me, I'm going to use whatever He's put in me um, to bring it to fruition. Whatever that vision is that's
Yeah.
been implanted in me.
And I love
It's
it.
my obligation to walk in my truth, to not to not shrink. And it took a long time for me to be comfortable
Yeah.
in the not shrinking.
That's what I'm getting at. Yes.
What are other people going to think about how I look? Or if I talk, will they hear them Southern and think that I'm dumb? Or like
No.
all of these things
Mhm.
to kind of that breed self-doubt when I literally had a choice to make. Like, listen, there are people in my community that are dying
Yeah.
for just being themselves. There are
Yeah.
people in my community who won't ever get a chance to advance in their careers, not
Yeah.
because they're not talented, not because they're not intelligent, not because they don't have the skill set, but simply because other people's issue with them not living in their own truth,
Yeah.
right? Them not being comfortable in the world where there are people that are different,
Yeah.
have different opinions, different
Yeah.
lifestyles. They're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We take that on, and then it uproots our lives. And I decided I wasn't going to be that person. If I
Yeah.
have the platform and the space to create space for other people to say, listen, young man, young woman, whatever, however you look, however you feel, however you love, you're entitled to that as a human being.
Yeah.
You're human first. Lead with compassion. Find out what relates us to each other before we start tearing each other apart with differences. And I think that as we continue to move in that space, like this world could be just full of wonder Like, I'm a fan of yours, and I think
Thank you.
that you crossed me on social media space. Like, we've been actually friends on Facebook for maybe about 7 or 8 years now.
Yep.
I remember you were doing your daily Facebook videos, dropping your music, talking your, popping your shade. I was getting my life. Okay, I've been getting my life, and I remember. And this was before, see, I feel like we're not aging ourselves, but this was before Reels and before TikTok,
Yeah.
where we had you would make your little 15-minute, your
Yeah.
15-second
Yep.
videos,
Yep.
reading the girls down. And I would watch with your lipstick and your different hats and your shades and I was like, this person is so fabulous. And I was like, I only pray that as I grow in my craft, that we get that type of appreciation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because what some people may look at us, and I went through this too for a while, where people saw it as like the gesturing, like, no, this isn't funny. This is not me. This isn't, I'm not doing this I'm not your clown, right?
Yes.
I'm doing this to show you that there are so many different ways to express a being. Like, you can't really physically see people's spirits, right?
Yeah.
But for queer people, we have this creative ingenue where it's like, listen, I know what my aura is giving today. It's giving very red. It's giving very bright. It's giving, like for yours, like it's giving very pink and lilac. And we're able to bring that out and give that experience to people. That is a spiritual gift to
Yeah.
be able to do that, right? And it's not something that's new. It's something that's been done over the ages. There have always been non-binary people,
Yeah.
always been people with trans experience. There have always been um, same gender loving human beings. It's just society having to catch up to the fact that we're humans and there's space for us. And if you're not going to create that space, we're going to create it for ourselves. And so, that's just the nature of the work. And it drives the creative force known as the Derek Doll, being able to occupy spaces and to look back and say, you know what? There are 3 other people that are doing what I'm doing that now can be in this space comfortably because when I came in here, I owned it.
Yeah.
I owned it and we did good. I owned it and did good. Um,
You are so inspiring. You need to add this to your bio. You do realize you're a pioneer, right?
maybe in a few
Yeah.
years out. I don't think that penny is dropped in the bucket for me yet. And I think it's
You
only
are.
because I'm so focused on just getting there, right?
Yeah.
So I guess when you're blazing a trail, you don't really see the fire behind you.
Mm-mm.
You're focused on the light ahead. And so in this moment, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to be able to do what I do.
Yes.
I'm grateful. That's the
Yes.
only word I can really think of. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the icons and pioneers that came before me. Most of mine are deceased,
Yeah.
but I grew up on Prince and Whitney and Sylvester and
Yeah.
Little Richard and
Yeah.
watching these people um, transform into their own being, right? Free, and it creates a space for the freedom of other people. Even if the world says no, it's like I've seen this before. There are people who were able to occupy space and say, "This is how I want to dress. This is what I want to communicate. This is the type of music I want to do," and they did it. And so I felt like in this particular generation, where we're so going to be I may bend, but I'm not going to be broken by it because I've
Yeah.
seen so many other people be at this for years and they've never been able to move ahead because they were allowed to be broken by the experience.
Yeah.
And I just take everything as value added. All the no's that I've received,
Yeah.
all of them got me to my yes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful to be here.
But you know what's so crazy? I hear a level of humility that I don't hear in a lot of artists. I hear and I mean mainstream. I've rubbed elbows, I've bumped them in passing, being a model younger and going places. And the humility, one thing, and this is, I'm a firm believer in the divine. I'm not religious, but I'm a shaman, and it's more of an African thing, an indigenous people thing. Um, you said something that made so much sense. You said, people like us have always been here. We've always been here. And I want to add to that. A lot of my studies talk about non-binary and two-spirited people being revered because they brought the balance of masculinity and femininity to their tribes, to their people, and then eventually to the world. And it's so funny that I always say this because I'm an indie artist myself, and I will always stay indie. Even as you were talking, you were like, I'm it may be lower. I was saying to myself, no, you're there. You have everything you need, and it's all inside of you, and you're just waiting for those the pieces to line up. But when you, like, quote unquote, arrive, you're going to be the same fabulous doll that we see sitting here, right here, you know? But I understand that weight, because when corporate America showed up, they changed a lot of the things and a lot of the ways that even art was perpetuated.
Mm-hmm.
It became very business.
Yep.
And less about, and that's what I was saying before, less about the beauty of the art. Less about, this, that, and the other. Like, today, it's all about numbers. It's all about this. It's all about, like you said, follower culture. But every now and then, a leader emerges. And it's kind of crazy because for the last couple of years, those leaders have been of the queer experience. Billy Porter, Lil Nas X, Jesse Smollett. I don't care what they say about him. Right. We're not going there. This is not his interview. But I mentioned his name, Daryl Stevens, the whole Noah's Ark, and then our ally, Jensen Atwood, there have been pioneers and trailblazers and people that they were called to do a job. And in the space, they filled it with something so precious, so pure, and so unique that it just touched the whole world, And I see that in you, Prince. Mm-hmm. I see that in you. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, I see the hard work because, like you said, I started 15 seconds 6 years ago. And my grandmother's church had to now look at me, Mm-hmm. Like it is, I am sitting here because of the culmination of work done, but not just work done, a constant belief in self. And I didn't have that when I started. Mm-hmm. That's why my shade was more visceral, and it was, the girls were living because it was like, oh, she's a wordsmith. She's quick with her tongue. She's quick with her tongue. I still have that, but somewhere in it, I still retain the Queen of Shade trademark, but now I do a different type of shade. My shade is a tree. I feed you now. I shelter you now. I keep you from harm now, the harmful rays of the sun. Like, I do all of that. There are some times where I still be like, now look here, bitch, but not as often. Yeah. And you know what's so crazy? I brought that up just to say, I know that we've been Facebook friends for a long time. And our evolutions are magnanimous. Absolutely. And it's so crazy because I was going to say, I get people that they want to see that side. Oh, do what you did at the beginning. Do that. Be shady like that. And it's like, sweetheart, if that's what you want, you're not really my supporter and you haven't been with me on the journey. Right. And I see you as an artist on a journey. I see you fully formed. I see you fully capable and fully ready to do the Super Bowl. Like these are the things. And the reason why, but this is the reason why I'm saying this. I'm stretching your faith. Yeah. Because I don't ever want to hear you say on a lower scale. No. We know this as insiders. There are levels to this shit. Yeah. And that's just the game. That has nothing to do with us.
And I think when I said that, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't indicative of me lacking faith, right, in my abilities or understanding where I am right now.
Right.
I think that it's more of me, me understanding that there are different levels to where this can go. Yeah. And I think that I'm not in the basement, but I'm on the first level of the house, right? And in this first level, I'm very aware. I think that's something too that a lot of newer artists, younger artists who are just thirsty for the fame part and the access and the money and the things that come with being an artist, because that's how these companies get them to sign their lives away,
Yeah.
right? I think for me, it's that I know I can't be here forever. And so the art that I create, I want it to be long lasting.
Mm-hmm.
And if that means I need to invest more into shaping and defining my iconography or my look, I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
If that means I have to take a little more time before
Mm-hmm.
releasing a single, guess what? I'm going to do that. If
Yes.
that means I have to skip this trend that's happening right now and think ahead and do something that's a little different,
Yeah.
and wait for the perfect time drop, I'm going to do that. So I think it comes with like a little level of awareness that as we move from level to level, the bosses just get bigger.
Yeah.
And I feel like at this particular stage of my career, because now we're in year 10 now. So it's like at this stage of my career, we are waiting for the timing. It's the timing. When that time happens,
Yeah.
when it happens, it's going to happen big.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I'm grateful because there was a time when I did not believe that I would ever be able to fully evolve into myself. I didn't
Yeah.
feel um, I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
it was something that I'd be able to handle. That's the first thing, emotionally, mentally. Um, I also um, I struggled so hard
Yeah. I know the
between
feeling.
that whole, well, if I pursue art, being an artist, that's literally walking sacrifice all the time.
Yeah.
The life of sacrifice and service, being an artist, because you're giving and giving and giving and giving. People have the right to say no, they can reject it or whatever, but you're constantly giving with sometimes little in return. Sometimes people don't even want to pay you. They
Yep.
want you to come perform for them, but they'll be like, well, I don't know, I can only give you, $50. Like, girl, you know how much my makeup costs? Do you know how much my
Right.
outfit costs? Do you know how much it costs to travel? Do you know? Like all of these things. And I was like, is that the lifestyle I want? Or to pursue that even for the beginning, to get me to the space where I'm literally living off of the things that I love doing, waking up every morning, focusing on rehearsals and working out and getting in the studio and handling business for endorsements and things like that. Do I want that, or do I really just want to be normal? Do I want people to just say I did a good job and let me just get this 9 to 5 and pay my bills and be?
Yeah.
I struggled with that for a long time
Yeah.
because as you pursue it, especially looking like this,
Yeah.
I was like, how's it sustainable? How you gonna sustain yourself? And
Right.
in my song Bang, my first single that I released in 2020, since my EP in 2012, I stated, I've been homeless 3 times.
Yeah.
I've never missed a meal.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I've been homeless 3 times, but I've never missed a meal.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of that grace that I'm able to say, you know what? If this is what I've been, like you said, called to do, this
Yeah.
has been the vision since I was 6 years old. I knew
Yeah.
I wanted to be on stage. I knew I wanted to sing. I knew I wanted to dress like the men that I saw in the 80s music. I knew that at 6 years old,
Right.
space I wanted to occupy. And I learned throughout my lifetime, I struggled the most when I bucked against the vision. And
Mm-hmm.
I made a conscious decision to not walk in alignment with what had been placed in me. That is when things went to shambles. But as soon
Mm.
as I started trusting and saying, God gave this to me, you know what I mean? Like my creator, the divine, my creator, the person
Yeah.
that created me, the energy that came together from my mother and father,
Yeah.
their talents combined for this moment, for such a time as this. Who am I to not trust my own being? And
Yeah.
how dare I allow other people to make me not trust my own being,
Yeah.
my being?
Yeah.
So once I gave that over and was like, this is what we're doing. This is where we're focusing. Everything aligned from there. The people came.
Yeah.
The opportunities came,
Yeah.
right? The money came.
Yeah.
The everything came together. And I feel like as long as I'm walking in that space of gratitude, awareness, understanding that my art is a service,
Yeah.
not really self gratifying. And yes, I'm gonna pop my shit in my music
Yes.
because I I don't have to wait for anybody to give me my flowers because I know what I've done.
Yep.
I'm appreciative, but I'm the Prince of Roses.
Yeah.
I've been getting flowers since I was a baby, but I really want to make sure and impress upon people that there are more people like me than you think,
Yeah.
and we're not weak. We
Mm-mm.
may be pretty, but we're not weak.
Yes.
And we're coming to do what we came to do,
Yeah.
and hopefully that translates into love,
Yeah.
more peace, understanding, translates into unity, translates into community building.
Yeah.
I think I made a post the other day on social media about Black queer entertainers and artists. We don't have the luxury, even though we hear it in our music, and I'm watching how things are playing out right now as we
Yeah.
get more LGBTQ entertainers. We don't have the luxury of competing.
No.
We don't have that luxury. There's not
Mm-mm.
enough of us in the
Mm-mm.
space.
Right.
Because what that tells them is, oh well, so now we have to pick one or the other. We don't have the luxury of doing that.
Mm-mm.
We need to be celebrating all of the wins and then
Yeah.
pulling each other along.
Yeah.
So yeah, just hopefully the art does that. I think
Yeah.
that putting my life in my art will create the space for an authentic and genuine experience of who I am and what I hope to bring to the art world. So
This is a segue real quick, but
okay.
I know, your mommy loves you.
Oh, so I love my mom too. My mom is
Yeah. No, because
my
you
mom's
know
an
what it
amazing
is.
woman.
No, because you know what it is. I just and like you said, I've been homeless a bunch of times too, and thank God I never missed a meal either.
I know that's right.
But like, oh, it was crazy back then. Oh, it was crazy. No place here in America got a whole flat in Paris, staying with a beautiful man, modeling, and it was like, but I can't go home.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But I love what you said because you are also healed, if you understand what I'm saying. You're a healed artist. You're a whole artist. These things that you've went through, which is why I'm not delving into them, is because you are not that. You are healed. You are whole. You are ready. You are moving. Like you, I don't sense that from you, which is why it's off the table. It's just because I just want to stay right here, because what you're doing is you're giving the next person a blueprint. And it's not do what I did. It's be who you are.
Yes.
And that's where I'm staying right now, because that's our mission.
Yep.
And you're doing that. You're doing that immensely. So, do you travel internationally yet?
I have not. I have not left the States yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually part of our plan for this year.
Mm-hmm.
I just got my passport last year for my birthday.
Yes, congratulations.
And it has been a dream of mine to be able to travel the world and to see the sights and be inspired up close and personal, and make new connections and share my art in a global way.
Yeah.
So that's something that we've put in the universe, and that we are looking forward to doing later at the end of the year.
Yeah.
There are opportunities that are being presented, and so hopefully things will align. And
you got to go to Paris. Paris loves entertainers like you. They love because it's an ambiance of soul. Like it's there. It's just like, it's like a beautiful pheasant. We won't say peacock, we'll say pheasant. Those feathers are a little darker. Those feathers drag a little lower. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. They love that. And they love the whole idea of artists just being themselves. Ever since I left in 2006, I've been working so I could move back, because it just was like, everywhere has its obstacles. But, for me, even with what I do, I took to the internet because I just don't like the climate here. I don't like the climate of the business. Not the weather. I mean, the climate of the business. It's just, I was speaking to my grandmother, the Queen Mother, and she's the reason why I sit here and do this, because she sewed into me. She invested in me. And when she did that, she was very adamant about they're not going to put you on. I'm going to put you on because I love you. And they're not going to love you like I love you. They're not going to make sure your needs are met because I don't work any other job. I don't have any other job. And it's so funny because I know so many artists that do. And I am like, and I have so much respect for them because I'm like, for you to have a job outside of your job as an artist, it's commendable because it shows that you are willing to not only survive, but thrive. And I just love that so much. So anyway, moving on. Right, right, right. Listen,
My grandmother is my best friend.
yeah,
And and you're right. I think that because everything, I will say everything is kind of spiritual. They have their own knowing, right? And my grandmother is my oldest and dearest best friend. She was my first best friend
yeah,
because she understood me in a way that I didn't think that anyone else did. And so for you to say that your grandmother invested in you
yeah,
and was the one that kind of freed you into just pursuing what it is that you love doing. I think that's awesome and amazing, and so relatable for a lot of us. I'm going to make sure I send her this interview because I
yeah,
love my grandmother to death. Okay,
yeah,
and I think that if it were not for her affirming me as a person and her saying to me that it's absolutely okay for you to be who you are. I was
yeah,
13 years old struggling with
yeah,
just trying to fit in somewhere.
yeah,
As someone, I don't fit in anywhere and I don't have
yeah,
any friends because I
yeah,
don't, fit in. And she was just like, be who you are.
yeah,
It's okay for you to be who you are. Your friends will come.
yeah,
They'll come and you'll
yeah.
know who they are. And so when you said that, it just kind of,
Thank you for offering that because I was gonna move on, but then you like, no,
yeah,
no, 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 grandma, grandma.
Mother's Day just happened Sunday. So
Yes,
I'm
Mother's Day just happened.
still soft on that.
But
But go ahead,
no,
I'm sorry. I didn't want to.
no, no, I love that because it shows how giving you are. You're so like, and that's what people don't understand. You can't give from an empty cup.
It's true.
You're so full. You're so full. And it's kind of funny because it's like I'm sensing shaman in you. I'm sensing that. I'm sensing healer. I'm sensing you can tell me about your problems and I can give you guidance, wisdom, inspiration. Like I'm sensing that from you. So let's talk about this music. Let's talk about this music. So please, this forthcoming album, which album is this? Is this the first, second, third, fourth?
This will actually be my debut album.
Oh, it's a debut. Okay.
I released the EP in 2012 when I first
Okay.
moved here. So now 10 years later, I will be
Yeah.
releasing a debut album.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about the album and the process of making it?
Sure, I sure can. So the album is titled Trophy Season.
Yeah.
And the background of this album is literally based on the last maybe 4 or 5 years of my life living here in Newark, New Jersey. And I get a chance to kind of talk about that journey.
Yeah.
I get a chance to speak to the emotional battles
Yeah.
that I've had.
Yeah.
Um, I always tell people I live here, I work
Yeah.
here, I play here, I've loved here, and I've lost here. And in the music, I will be giving um, I'll be giving life to some of those situations, and I'll be speaking about these battles that I've had.
Yeah.
But it's called Trophy Season because, to God be the glory, I've won all of them.
Yeah.
And so it's a victory lap. It's an album that I never thought would really make it.
Don't
After a
I know it?
while,
Yeah.
after you do your first project, and you're like, okay, well now that I've done the first one, it's time to work on the second one. And
Yeah.
things just it didn't happen that way.
Right.
In between the time from the last EP, I was in a domestic violence situation with
Yes.
in a relationship. My best friend died a few years
Yeah.
ago. I was homeless. I
Yeah.
lost my job. Like a lot of things happened in that time. I'm just like, Lord, I just want to do the music. I just
Yeah.
want to do the art.
Yeah.
And it was like, the story isn't ready yet.
Mm. Can you
Story
say
isn't
that
ready.
again? Can you say that again,
Yeah,
please? Say that.
the story isn't ready yet. So when the story is ready to be told, it'll come to you. And a couple of years ago, actually 2017, 2018, I was offered an opportunity to host an open mic in
Yeah.
Newark, which is something I used to do in Shreveport all the time.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how I'd be received up here because I
Yep.
know living in the South, looking like this, it was a challenge
Mm-hmm.
because people didn't look like this in the daylight
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
where I'm from. And I'm from the same city that bred Chi Chi DeVane. May
Yeah.
she rest in peace.
Yeah.
And we considered each other as legends because of what we were able to do at home to create space for other queer people. But up here, my friend was like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be hosting. Do one of your songs." I was like, "Oh gosh, I don't know if I should do that. I don't know. I'm not in that space. Whatever." Literally forced me to get back into performing, and from there, it went into writing. It's like, "Oh, I do have more stories to tell.
Yeah.
I do have more feelings now than I did 8 years ago. I'm a little more mature, so I can
Yeah.
give. It has a different context, and like you said, being healed, it makes it so much different when you're a hurt person
Yeah.
who is performing, or when you have to perform music that's about situations you haven't healed from.
Yep.
It's a different experience,
Exactly.
and I want to be able to enjoy performing.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. Hold on. You
Mm-hmm.
mind?
No, take your time. Yeah. So you were telling us that, performing from a place of being healed is you want to enjoy.
Yeah.
Please
I wanted,
continue.
yeah, I wanted to enjoy performing these stories and telling my stories. And I know that even now when I perform certain things, I kind of feel it, but it's not reacting to the trauma of the
Yeah.
event. It's me being just so grateful to have
Yeah.
survived some of these things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that was the catalyst for this album, and some of the music speaks about some of those great moments, like the VMAs. It talks about
Yeah.
some of the highs of falling into fashion and
Yeah.
falling in love with just me being me. I literally have a song that's going to be on the album called Mirror.
Yeah.
That during the pandemic, I got into affirmations more, and I literally took my affirmations and put them in a song because I feel like sometimes you just need to hear it
Yeah.
for yourself and believe it. And I was like, I'm gonna put these affirmations in a song.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for anybody else but for me at that time. Like it
Yes.
wasn't something that I was even thinking about
Yeah.
releasing or forming. It's like this is for me and myself, and to hear me saying and pouring into myself
Yeah.
all these positive things to get me through this experience. And I performed it one time, and people loved it, and it's just like that's the song that we
Yeah.
need in this moment because it does speak to the healing part.
Yes.
There's a lot of other things happening, and
Yes.
uh, like I said, one of my icons is Whitney.
Yeah.
And she also has like this. She had this innate gift that she knew that her voice could heal things.
Yeah.
Right? She knew that she had that kind of power. And as a writer, I was like, well, if this is something that I wrote for myself,
Yeah.
how have I healed the
Yeah.
space? And it's resonating with people who said that I needed this song. Like
Yeah.
somebody literally texted me. I haven't released the album yet. They literally kept texting me and was like, "Can you? I'm not going to share it, but can you just send me this song?"
Right.
Right. So for her birthday, I literally was like, "Here's a link. Go down. This is just for you."
Right. Just for you.
Because for a person to say or to share how something you created of yourself
Yes.
has impacted them in a positive way or
Yes.
could impact them in a positive way. I was like, that is the work.
Yeah.
That's the why. Right?
Yes.
And it's like the light bulb went off. So with
Yes.
the album, it kind of changed the direction of what it's going to sound like. And so, yeah, I'm going to pop my shit,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
But also, there's going to be moments on the album where people will be able to listen and hear themselves and have a moment to reflect and to kind of just um, address things and heal and have fun.
Yeah.
have fun, and be who you are. It's going to be an affirmative album for sure.
Yeah. See, I love that. And I want to stay there for a second. That whole speaking from a healed place, people don't understand how important that is. And I just want to highlight to those that are going to see this that healing takes time.
It does.
And this is the thing, healing properly takes time. But I was interviewing Letice Crawford from Sunday's Best.
Mhm.
And she said something. She was like, artists deserve to be paid for our art because of all the time we had to live to get that one song. All that we had there. I thought you was like, wait a minute. You just fell back in the chair like, whoop. No, but she said that we had to live
Mm.
all the living that we had to do to give you one song. And that she, like, I have never thought about that because I'm such a workaholic that I just go and go and go and go and go. But she made me step back and be like, I had a lot of things hit my life. And in my effort to, like you said, focus on the art, get the art, as the focal point, I was kind of like not speaking about them. And then I just started speaking, like I started speaking about everything in monologues, in these interviews, in my podcast, in my music. I just started speaking about everything. And she said to me, because, church girl, so she said, and if you expect me to be at your event every night and sing, when do I have the time to get a 9 to 5? You need to pay me for showing up and performing. And it just made me realize that artists are so good, artists are undervalued. And it's and get it, I'm not saying this with despair because I see a change. I see a change. It's coming. Like, the powers that be are fighting so hard for this change not to occur, but this change is happening. It's happening. And it's like a reset. We're returning to, like, it's like an age of Aquarius. Like, we're returning to the divine feminine. The divine feminine is balance. So there going to be a lot of misogynistic men that can't just do anything about this. They're trying, they're doing their last ditch efforts, but the art and the beautiful people and all it's just spilling out. I just want to segue real quick and say this. You had so many young men, and I'm not calling no names. You had so many young men like, no, 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 our kids don't need to see this. Our kids don't need to see this. But then their kids were tapping them on the shoulders like, Daddy, where have you lived? Because I've seen this all my life. It's everywhere. You're just upset now that it's competition competing with you and getting more record sales. That's what you're upset about. That you feel like it's taking something away from you, but it's not. It speaks to a whole new demographic of people that you yourself can't reach. And then you're finding out that demographic of people is quite powerful, can invest, can uplift and support their artists.
But I think that comes with the reversal of oppression. I think that as people are empowered, it does break different chains. And I think for so long, where people have been oppressed by, I won't say straight people, because not all straight people are homophobic, but
Right.
their heteronormativity itself.
Yeah.
We live, especially here in America, we live in
Right.
a white
Yes.
imperial capitalistic society
Yeah.
that favors cisgendered
Yeah.
heterosexual white men.
Yeah.
So the ideology, that is the religion
Yeah.
of this country.
Yup.
Okay. Powerful white man, that's the
Yup.
religion.
Mm-hmm.
And so in following those standards, especially being a Black queer person, I'm already Black,
Yeah.
which means that's the first strike.
Yeah.
Now I'm queer, or I'm
Yeah.
homosexual, bisexual, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's
Whatever.
the third thing.
Yeah.
And then as far as my gender is concerned, I'm for the most part non-conforming.
Right.
I do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
I may not look like the other boys
Right.
on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right.
You know what I mean? On
Right.
Friday, I may look like my mama. You never know what, depending on how I feel.
Yeah.
But understanding that there is a way for us to break the chains from within.
Yep.
Once that penny drops, like, wait a minute, I don't have to wait for these people to free me.
Mm-mm.
To feel accepted, because I think that's what the change was. We got
Yep.
tired of trying to prove ourselves to be human.
Yep.
I'm not proving anything to you.
Nope.
If I want to prove anything, I want to prove something to my other queer community members that
Yep.
regardless of these changes, these imaginary changes they've created,
Yeah.
we ourselves can create our own subculture. We can prove that we're the ones that are the driving force of culture, because they've been trying to hide us behind the veil for so long.
Yep.
We're the ones that do your hair. We're the ones that do your makeup. We're the ones that pick your clothes, so that the women that you're lusting over, they look like that because we make them look like that.
Yes.
Okay. Your favorite artists that are selling out tours and arenas around the world, the choreography they're doing because we taught them that.
Yeah. Yes. You better say it.
Okay. So it's like, so that you love us.
Yeah.
You love our culture.
Yeah.
You love everything about us except our existence, because our existence to you is a reflection of a weakness that you see, which are really a strength.
Yeah.
And I think changing the narrative and showing how strong we are. So I'm glad that we have artists like Lil Nas X and Chelsea Santana and some of the other Kid Ken and some of these other rappers, and especially in that space, hyper misogynistic space, right?
Yeah.
To show that, oh, I am marketable, because we paying y'all the money anyway. I would rather give my money to someone who affirms me than to keep paying and keep supporting someone who calls me the F word.
Yeah.
Or sees me as an enigma that you should hide from your kids.
Yeah.
You get to rap about killing people. You get to call. Now I have a black mother. Right?
Yeah.
And I love the word bitch. Okay.
Yeah.
That's an exclamation to me, bitch.
Me too. You're right.
You've made your business of calling our mothers bitches and hoes.
Yeah.
But to see someone like me, that's where you draw the line for your kids. Because when I choose to love in my bed, in the privacy of my own, in
privacy. I love that.
Right. I'm where you draw the line.
Make it make sense. I was getting ready to say, make it make sense, and then get this. And this is the thing. All of the songs that these rappers, MCs, and people are making that are calling us the F word, disparaging to women, et cetera, talk about killing each other, this is that and the other. They've all been cleared by your label. So they go, oh, another album where we're teaching them to self-hate? Oh yeah, put that through. We're going to clear that. Let that through. And that's what people don't understand about the business. Everything these people sing has been cleared. A label will very quickly tell you, sweetheart, we need you to go back and change lines through to 2 to 7. We don't like the message there. But then you turn around in this society run by, like you said, white capitalist men, and they're letting that through. They're not going to say, oh, that's damaging to relationships between Black men and Black women. They let that through.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They know who's going to spend the money to keep that culture going.
Yeah.
And I think that, Black people in America, we are the highest consumers. We consume a lot of things.
A lot.
We put our money outside our community.
Yeah.
Than any other
community,
ethnicity in this country.
Yep.
Jewish people mastered being able to circulate their money within their community.
Yep.
Black people mastered being able to circulate money within themselves and take everybody else's.
Right.
Right. You know what I mean?
Touche.
Asian people have mastered how to combine their resources to make investments so that it and then send it back home. Everybody else gets it.
Yeah.
Us. We just want to spend. We get it. We spend it because we want to appear to be keeping.
Yes.
I had a conversation with someone about affordable housing here.
Yeah.
In Newark, and they made a comment about apartments going up and the price of the rent. This isn't affordable.
Yeah.
It's like, it is affordable. It's affordable for people who have full-time jobs that aren't getting paid minimum wage.
Right.
So don't be upset about these apartments coming in at these market rates. Be upset that there's not enough jobs that are paying livable wages.
Right.
So that the people that live here can afford these types of accommodations. Let's be mad about the right things. And then on top of that, as we're pushing the community forward, and we're talking about intersectionality, and we're talking about community building and finance and all this
Mhm.
other stuff. Let's be clear: people do not like being reminded
Yeah.
that they're poor,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because when you do that, it makes them react in a way to say, "No, I'm not."
Mhm.
That is why the music industry right now, we're talking. When you get the Jay Z's, and I love Jay Z, or when you
Yeah.
get to a certain level, and think about most of the artists now. Once they get their Grammy, once they get their AMAs, all their music, for the most part, is about their money
Yeah.
and their travels and their
Yeah.
cars and this luxury lifestyle that poor people
Yeah.
who may never experience these things
Yeah.
are spending their hard-earned money to live vicariously through,
Through. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like for us in our community, it's the same way with a lot of our younger LGBTQ kids who
Yeah.
have to listen to, they're living a normal heterosexual life through the music they see
Yeah.
or the music they take in. But they
Mhm.
don't have any artists who are able to say, listen, this is what the real world is like for us. This
Yeah.
is what the road is like for us. This is what this identity, taking this identity cross on your back and still pushing through
Yeah.
this hateful, not just the industry. The world can be hateful sometimes. I think there's a lot of love out there, but the world can
Yeah.
be hateful. This is what it looks like for us to do it,
Yeah.
right? And when we get behind artists who are doing it, when we pay attention to what the message is, I think that change, as you're talking about, that change that's happening,
Yeah.
that's where you're going to see the change. It's going to be the change when you start seeing these artists tell the truth. And trust me, there are a lot of mainstream artists that are also part of the community, but their labels and management will never let them come out because they
Never.
feel it'll affect their money,
Yeah.
affect
Because
their
they
craft.
think that the heteros run it. And you're right. I love what you said because I say it all the time.
Mhm,
We got everything. We got her hair. We got her makeup. You said it, so I don't have to recap it.
mhm.
But like it just, you make so much sense. And it's crazy because as I'm listening to you, I want you around the children. I want you around the generation. You have a very loving, warm, like spirit about you, but you're speaking such truth. Our babies need to know because they're already watching and get it. They're already deciding for themselves as children. Okay, I better hide my homosexuality. And girls and boys, I better hide this because this is a hot button topic,
Mhm.
you know? And my thing is, it's been a long time that we in the community of LGBTQIAP plus have been suppressed and used at the same time. And that's why I look at artists like you and I'm so inspired because the courage to say, I'm going to forego that. I know that chain costs $120,000, but I'm going to forego that because my music needs to be a message for people coming up behind me. People don't think like that. Like I've heard young artists, because young artists come to me for mentoring. They're like, "Oh, Queen, you da da da," and I've heard them say, "I don't give a damn about who's coming up behind me. I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to make it." And I always ask the question, and they can never answer me. Make it into what?
Baby, where you going?
Where you going? Where
Mhm.
you going? Is there some club? No. Make it into what? Oh, you want to not have to worry about your light bill. You want to make sure that you have food in your fridge. Oh, okay. You want to be able to go to bed in a neighborhood where you don't have to worry about somebody climbing through your window because they've heard you got a little success and they want to take from you everything you've amassed. Oh, you want to feel safe. Then they look at me and it's like, I'm like, yeah, yeah, it's rough out here. What
Mhm.
you're saying to me is not what you're saying to me. Your soul is saying, I want to be safe. I want to live. I want to not make minimum wage. I want to not have to worry about my mom if she needs a specific medication that her insurance won't cover. So basically, you want to be famous and have the life of a celebrity so you can do normal things.
Mm. And how sad is that for us, for that to be an aspiration for us, that is what we see it as.
Mm-hmm.
Like, mm, and I always, when it comes to kids, I always tell people like, I am nobody's classroom teacher. I'm not. I don't see myself as. I don't know. I feel like with my nieces and nephews, I'm an Uncle Monkey. I love kids. Kind of like we're gonna say, I'm nobody's role model. I don't think I signed up for that, but I do understand and aware that when I was young, I was looking for someone that looked like me, like
Yeah.
someone real.
Yeah.
I was looking for someone that made me reassured that it was going to be okay,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because everything else around was saying that it's not. Like you said, the kids just want to be safe. Um, I've had moments in my life where I wasn't safe.
Look, that's why I said it, because I had them. I'm like, they tried to they listen. They tried to break in my house in the ghetto because I had Persian cats, child. They tried to hit me in my head and take my cats, child. Yes, they did. Knocked me in the back of my head for my cat. I had to fight for my cat, all because I wanted something nice.
Something nice and something more. And you had Persian cats. I ain't have all that. Okay?
Right. Trust me, there was no wait. There was no furniture in the house. I had Persian cats, but there was no furniture in the house. Okay. I had a futon that I got out of the Goodwill and a couch that someone gave me. So no, okay. It wasn't glamorous.
Luxury is a state of mind.
It is.
What is luxurious to you?
Yes.
Luxury.
Those cats were luxury to me and great companions.
Right. And so for this next generation, what I hope that they get to see, because they have so much more access to information.
Exactly.
Than we did, right?
Yeah.
Which means they have access now to us independent artists, and we
yeah,
have different stories and that are doing things differently than what the mainstream media and what mainstream entertainment industry, how they have gone about the business for so long, for the past 60 years, is that we can be real with them. That is what I like.
Yeah.
Is that, you know what? I can say that, yeah, I got 3 albums out now.
Yeah.
But I ain't clearing $100 million.
Exactly.
So me rapping about RAV4s and Mercedes Benz and all this kind of stuff that these artists that you follow and that you think have all this money that are renting them for videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, let's be honest with you. Let's talk about the businesses we're building. I'm gonna rap about any luxury wares. It's gonna be something that I own or something that I've created. Like my clothing line, Unknown Negro. Like you were talking earlier about artists who have jobs and pursue their art.
Yeah.
Listen, when the decision comes to pursue your passion, right?
Yeah.
Because passion and purpose are two different things.
Yep.
To pursue your passion can burn out.
Yep.
Can burn out.
Yep.
You can invest so much in your passion and it fizzle and you just be up and ruined.
Yep.
When you invest in your purpose passionately, that is where you'll see change come in. And so in 2014, after the murder of Eric Gardner in New York, I was so moved because, I got tired. I just had that Trayvon Martin situation.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I led a protest rally for the Gen 6.
Yeah.
And it's just, I was like, we're tired.
Yeah.
We're tired. This is before George Floyd. I'm like, we're tired.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's like this resistance for Black liberation.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it.
I
and
know.
Sometimes the call is coming from inside the house. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I was watching Black people argue and debate about Eric Garner's death being justified.
Yeah.
I was mortified.
Mortified.
And so I had like this button, this button that I got made called Unknown Negro.
Yeah.
And it was talking about how to truly liberate us in this Black experience. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that education is very important.
Yeah.
I also think that understanding entrepreneurship and creating different streams of income is also important for us to get out of this this vein of poverty that
Yeah.
some live in. Because I'm saying not all Black people are poor, and that's not
That's
all of our
true.
experience. Not all Black people are hood. Not all,
Right.
that's we're not a monolith.
Yeah.
And so we have to free ourselves from that. And the only way to do that truly is for us to be able to create and expand our experiences.
Yeah.
And that went from being a button to a t-shirt to now I have a whole line. I've got travel gear, fanny packs, backpacks,
Yes.
tool bags. But that has now become a source
Yes.
of me to be able to passionately pursue my purpose,
Yes.
right? Because it was an alignment. That was something that moved me,
Yes.
right? So when we talk to the kids, and I've done some, celebrity book readings, and
Yeah.
I'm the actually starting a new position in a couple of weeks. I'll be the manager of in-school programs
Wow.
for the New Jersey Performing Arts Center,
Wow.
and I'll be working with other artists, with teaching artists who will be able to go to the schools and have residency. They'll be able
Wow.
to teach jazz sessions. They'll be able to teach tap. They'll be able to teach hip hop. They'll be able to earn a living
Yes.
teaching what they're passionate about, right?
Wow.
And I'm just so, my mind gets blown because I'm like, I'm in the midst of this, of still like finalizing my album.
Yeah.
And I just dropped a new clothing line. I'm
Yeah.
also I'm on a reality show
Yeah.
that we've been taping here in the metropolitan area that comes out, I think, in July.
Uh-huh.
We'll be able a chance to showcase other LGBTQ artists and influencers. And I'm just sitting back and watching the alignment happen.
Yeah.
And like I'm not really thinking about making a blueprint or a
Yeah.
global print,
Yeah.
but realizing that when this is done, whenever it is,
Mm-hmm.
if it's just one person
Yeah.
that sees how I pursued my dreams,
Yeah.
if they trust that they have everything they need within them, my mission will have been complete. I will
Yeah.
have fulfilled what I was called to do, whether it's
Yeah.
through my music, how I look, how I run my businesses.
Yeah.
Um, it will have the destiny will have been fulfilled.
Yeah.
If it's just that one person, and I'm very mindful of that, and I want other people, because it's not just me. There are younger artists that are already out here doing it, and I applaud them, and I hope they get their far and get where they're going. But I just want us to be aware that someone is
Yeah.
always watching.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, like this Black queer experience, it's my life
Yeah.
and it is my art, but
Mm-hmm.
it's also it's it's my calling. I
Yeah.
was destined to be Black and queer and
Yeah.
non-binary and all that. That's
Yeah.
what my destiny was. So
I love that you said that because my grandmother had the hardest time with me saying I was born gay. I was born to be gay. And then I told her, I was in Paris when the divine spoke to me in a park and I started screaming and crying like somebody was murdering me. But it was the first time I had to have the realization and the chat with the all knowing. And he said, you're gay, right? And I said, I know. And I just started screaming and crying hysterically because it made all of the abuse and all of the hurt and the pain viable. It was like, that's why they were beating me. But then I had to learn how to separate that. And I asked the divine, what am I going to do? And he said, we'll deal with it. And that was 17 years ago. We've never had another conversation about it. But my grandmother, she was so devout and she listens to me because I tell her, I'm here for a group of people that the world did not want. I'm here for us. And she watches me work. She watches me and get this. I have no desire to step outside of my community. Why? Everybody else got a community. I want to stay right here in the LGBTQIAP community. We got our celebrities, our porn stars, we got everybody that we look up to, our activists, our, all of these things, our musicians. Like, I'm one of those crazy people that see the same thing you did. It was like, okay, well, we don't need to go nowhere. We can stay right in here. This one, girl, get her here. We gonna pay her. No, this ain't like, yes, like we have everything we need within our community.
yeah.
And that's powerful. And you know what's so crazy? I don't feel sad about that because more and more people are starting to realize that. Why are you running to mainstream entertainment to be a B-list or to get a cameo? And it's like, and that's it. And then on top of that, they want to say, oh, we found you. They want all the work that you've done. I had a very, very prominent musician, songwriter, artist hear my first song, Black Stilettos, when it came out. And literally, I had released it, and his people called me and said, we'd like you to go on tour with him and another artist. And I was like, no. And they went back to him, and he was like, this is the chance of a lifetime. Why are you saying no? And I told him, I said, because I'm not a lunchbox. I didn't prepare this entire meal inside for you to now come along and slap your name on the outside. They were so mad with me. They slammed the phone in my ear. You're a fool. Bang. And that was 10 years ago. I found, get it. I'm not, none of us are. And that's what I hear from you. I'm not going to do all of this work and then you claim you found me and you govern my life and now I got to do, and get it. You replace my affirmations in my songs with the same stuff that you got the hetero men singing, and you expect that to be believable? Now I'm supposed to rap about cars and houses and things? Make it make sense. I should be talking about I'm in a position that I've never been in, and this is for my people, and we can do this and raise up. You know, like, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. But this has been fantastic. So do you have a date for your album yet, or is it not set?
We do not have a release date yet.
I know how that goes.
It is coming this summer. There are a couple of things that we want in place before the actual album comes out.
Okay.
I do want to do a music video or two.
Okay.
Then.
Yeah.
I just had a performance this weekend.
Okay.
Chop was released last May, and it's still like I'm watching that song catch fire. I was like, dang, I haven't even like really toured this song yet, but enough people have heard it to where it's like, oh, this is it gives that vibe, kind of like Mirror, but it's very affirmative, and it was about me taking my own 10s and not waiting for anybody else to make me feel affirmed and like, I know who I am.
Yes.
And if I'm walking in this space, okay, clear the room.
Yes.
Okay? Because I understand what that power is now, right? I understand what that power is now. I want everyone to feel like that, right? So we want to try to get like a video done. I know I have a couple of, I have some outstanding features.
Yeah.
And I think that it was also very important to me to collaborate with other LGBTQ artists.
Yeah.
Even though I have a handful of straight rappers,
right,
and things like that I could collaborate with, and I think maybe in the future it will happen.
Yeah.
If it needs to happen, but for this one, I really wanted to champion us.
Yeah. Yeah.
This album is like the one you least expected.
Yeah.
But sometimes people kind of count you out.
Yeah.
And I wanted to work with some artists that I've been watching, and I'm like, okay, I see that you get it, you've grown into yourself, and I'm gonna have a couple of them featured on the album, and I have another project that I'm working with someone else.
Yeah.
That may come out before the album does too. So we're just gonna take the process how it goes. But by the end of the summer, definitely gonna have the complete album.
Do you know your next? In August. Do you know where you're performing next?
September.
Do you know where you're performing next? Like,
I have a performance on May 20th.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be live and direct with the New York Times.
Yes.
And so I'm going to be doing a performance, I think, here in Newark, and I'm very excited to get a chance to perform for them.
Yeah.
They were actually the publisher that booked me to do the interviews on the red carpet for the VMAs in 2019. And so it was like a full circle moment.
Yeah.
Like, I was working for you.
And now I'm performing for you. Yeah. I was interviewing the artist. Now I am the artist, you know?
And so I'm excited about it. I'm very excited about I'm always excited about performing in the city.
Yeah.
And I know that there'll be opportunities to go outside, and I can't wait to
It's
perform in
coming.
Dallas. I can't wait to go home, go back to
Yeah.
Shreveport, and
Yeah.
to perform this album and
Yeah.
go other places. But I kind of get a thrill out of performing here because there are people that see me in passing all the time, and depending on what hat I have on my
Wearing.
head
Yeah.
that day, they're like, Aren't you that doll guy?" It's like, I am. Now,
Yeah.
can you scoot over so I can get these avocados, please?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
and so the idea of like, oh yeah, I think I've seen you perform like you have, and
Yeah.
just having that connection with the people, and them mentioning the
Exactly.
music, or when I do perform and
Yeah.
hearing the people that probably will never know their names or me or whatever,
Yeah.
having them sing your lyrics back to you.
Yeah.
I was
Isn't
like,
that crazy?
it is crazy.
That's a head trip. It's a head trip.
It is, but it's so affirming, and
Yeah.
that's one of the rewarding parts of performing live music is that you're able to connect to people in a
Yeah.
different way,
Yeah.
and watching them and making sure that they have an experience. That's the goal for me. When I perform, it's called the doll experience, right?
Yes.
Even when Kim, like my mentor, like when we send things out, it's
Yeah.
literally you get to choose which doll experience you want, because I want people to walk away feeling a little healed. I want people to
Yeah.
walk away feeling empowered,
Yeah.
feeling strong,
Yeah.
feeling confident, feeling, I want them to walk out of that room not feeling sad, drained, not having to go back into reality, but like, damn, I just spent the last 2 hours talking about money, cars, and hoes, and I'm single, broke, and I gotta take the bus, and
That.
somebody hits you in the face, and
Yeah.
then, yeah, I don't want that. No, I want you to
Yeah.
walk out of here being like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am all that I said I am.
Yeah.
I can do all of these things because I incorporate storytelling in throughout my performance. And so
Yeah.
it allows people to connect with my story and like
Yes.
I'm a real person. Yes, I know that we can glam it up and give this surreal experience, but I'm just like you.
Yeah.
Okay. When I leave here, I'm probably gonna want, a margarita and some tacos. Okay. Like I gotta go home and pick up poop behind my dog. Okay? I gotta go wash my
Yeah.
dishes.
Yeah.
I gotta complain to my man about leaving his socks on the floor. Like, I gotta do all
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah.
But the beauty of music and the art of performing is allowing me to connect with people
Yeah.
that I never probably would have the opportunities to, even off of social media.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm always excited about
Yeah.
getting a chance to touch people. And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm an old school performer. Like I need to look in the eyes. I need to touch the hands. I need to all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
I
explain.
I love it. I love it. This has been so amazing. I thank you for the way that you shared, and I love the positivity. I love the advocacy for us. That's what it is. It's the advocacy for us because literally all the powers that be started off small and just more and more people
Yeah.
joined the revolution. Give me 3 words that inspire and empower you.
3 words: freedom,
Mm-hmm.
create,
Mm-hmm.
deliver.
Deliver. I love it. Now tell everybody, even though I'm going to put it all in the comment section, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on Facebook as Prince Derek Doll. You can find me on Instagram at the Derek Doll. You can also find all my information at www.thederekdoll.com.
Yeah.
You can find my music on Apple Music, Google Play, Spotify,
Yeah.
Amazon Music, iTunes.
Yeah.
And you can find me on TikTok at Prince Derek Doll.
Yes. Yes. I just want to say thank you so much for this amazing, listen, this was absolutely amazing. Like there is so much, this is one of my favorites because there's so much meat, there's so much fruit, there's so much vegetable, there's so much here. And I feel like Literally, like literally as we were talking, I saw us 10 years from now talking again, and we were fabulous. We were rich. We were rich, honey. We were like, oh, we did it. Like, we did it. Like that was the vision I was having. It was like, we did it. Like, now let's talk.
But I'm going to speak into your spirit right now, because I don't believe that it's going to be 10 years. I don't think it's not going to take that long.
I know.
And I think that when that time comes, it's only going to be because we already have it.
Yeah.
We just have manifested it into this realm.
Exactly.
We're already rich.
Yes. Oh, yes, honey. And get it. We wealthy, baby, because rich come and go. Wealthy? Yeah, we wealthy. Like, yeah. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I'm so, I'm so proud of you. Let me give you your flowers.
Oh, God.
Because, like you said, it does take a lot of courage to do what we're doing. And you were one of the people that I looked at and was like, you have the courage to be yourself. I want that kind of courage.
Yeah.
Like, I remember thinking like, I mean, I'm doing it, but I need to feel it and own it more.
Yeah.
And you are definitely one of those people that inspired me to just own it and run with it and be clear about what it is that we're doing here. So I appreciate you so much for inviting me onto your show. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I will continue to support. And I hope it won't be 10 years.
It won't. It won't be.
I do look forward to us speaking again.
More like 2 or 3.
All the updates and elevation and progress that we will have at that time. So again, thank you so much for having me.
I'm looking forward to it. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the vocal stylings of Prince Derek Dahl, the Doll. Don't go anywhere. Say bye to the people.
Bye.
Okay, hold on. So did you enjoy? I hope you did. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and don't forget to cash at me at the Queen of Shade. I am your favorite content creator, right? Right. You want to see more of this content, right? Right. Cash at me. I love you. Mwah.
I've got my black stilettos on. Don't you make me take them off. I'm assuming first position. Gonna show you I'm a boss.